An accused killer attacked her own attorney in court.
What happens when toxic love collides with a criminal mind?
Taylor Shabiznis is accused of killing and mutilating her boyfriend a year ago in Wisconsin. The 25-year-old was in court for a hearing when she attacked her defense attorney as he was sitting next to her. A court officer pulled her to the ground, but the defendant made it difficult for him to restrain her.
It's not just about passion. It's about control, manipulation, and obsession.
Breaking news overseas. 12 people have been hurt in a stabbing at the Central Railway Station in Hamburg, Germany. 6 people are critically injured. Police say a 39-year-old woman used a knife to attack the victims on a platform there between 2 tracks. She was taken into custody, and police are investigating whether she may have been in a state of mental distress.
As love turns dark, boundaries get shattered, and the victim gets trapped in a dangerous web.
A student has died from their injuries in yesterday's school shooting in Michigan, bringing the death toll to 4. And here is the first photo of the young man charged with terrorism and first-degree murder. He's only 15, but he's being charged as an adult.
With every move calculated and every word weaponized, there's no escape. The mind games grow deadlier. Can they break free before it's too late? Or will they become a pawn in a twisted game of obsession? Stay tuned. You won't want to miss this shocking story. Love's darkness. Toxic love is often masked by affection, but beneath the surface, it harbors manipulation, control, and emotional harm. In the beginning, it feels like any other love story, intense, passionate, and all-consuming. But as time passes, subtle signs of toxicity begin to emerge. Words once spoken with tenderness now come across as controlling demands. Jealousy starts to overshadow trust, and affection morphs into obsession. It's a dangerous game, where the boundaries between love and possession blur. In this world, emotions don't just run deep, they become weapons. Every gesture, every word is measured. The thrill of affection is replaced by the fear of rejection, and the need for approval becomes all-consuming. The victim, unsure of what love should truly feel like, becomes entangled in this web of manipulation, unable to distinguish between love and control. As the darkness grows, what was once love transforms into a destructive force. What happens when this toxic love crosses paths with a criminal mind? The consequences are far beyond what anyone can imagine. Unseen manipulation in toxic relationships. Manipulation often takes place behind closed doors, hidden from the world. The criminal mind is adept at twisting reality to control those around them, and in love, this skill becomes their weapon. They use charm, persuasion, and sometimes even guilt to create a reality where the victim is always on edge, second, guessing themselves, and questioning their own worth. The manipulator doesn't raise their voice or use force. Instead, they employ subtle tactics: gaslighting, emotional withdrawal, and creating confusion. One moment, they're sweet and loving, and the next they're cold and distant. This unpredictability keeps the victim hooked, constantly striving to earn back the love that feels just out of reach. What makes it worse is that the manipulator often has a perfect public persona. To the outside world, they're charming, trustworthy, and caring. It's only in the private confines of the relationship that their true nature emerges. The victim, trapped in this cycle, doesn't realize they're being controlled until it's too late. This hidden manipulation becomes the perfect breeding ground for danger and violence, where love no longer exists, only control. Twisted desires. In toxic love, desires evolve into something unrecognizable. What starts as innocent attraction grows into a monstrous obsession, driven not by love, but by a need for dominance and control. The criminal mind sees love as a game, a means to an end, a tool to manipulate and break down another person. What they crave is not genuine connection, but power. They thrive on the idea of having someone so completely under their thumb that they begin to lose themselves. The victim, caught in this dangerous web, starts to internalize these twisted desires. They begin to believe that their worth is tied to their ability to please the manipulator. Every action, every thought, becomes a calculation to meet the unspoken expectations set by their partner. The criminal mind knows how to make their desires seem like love, when in reality, it's nothing more than a dark fantasy that feeds off control and submission. As the desires intensify, the toxic bond deepens, transforming into a cycle that's hard to break. The victim's identity starts to fade, replaced by the overwhelming need to satisfy someone who only wants to see them fall further into despair. It's no longer love. It's a distorted reality, driven by twisted desires. Breaking boundaries. In a toxic relationship, boundaries are not just tested, they're shattered. the criminal mind thrives in the absence of limits, constantly pushing the victim beyond their comfort zones and exploiting their vulnerabilities. What was once a relationship built on trust and respect becomes an environment where control reigns, and personal boundaries are ignored or outright destroyed. The manipulator seeks to break down every line that once separated them from the victim's individuality. Emotional, physical, and mental boundaries are crossed with alarming regularity. They know just how to wear down the victim's defenses, making them feel guilty for wanting space or asserting their independence. The manipulator plays on the victim's weaknesses, exploiting their insecurities until they no longer recognize where the relationship ends and where their own self-worth begins. As these boundaries are eroded, the victim's world becomes smaller. They may start to isolate themselves from friends, family, and activities they once enjoyed, believing that their only worth comes from the toxic relationship. The manipulator continues to break down barriers, testing just how far they can go. But each broken boundary brings the victim closer to a dangerous tipping point, where love, manipulation, and control blend into something far more sinister. Dangerous obsession. As the toxic love deepens, it transforms into a dangerous obsession. What was once a simple connection becomes an all-consuming need to possess the other person completely. The criminal mind, driven by control, begins to see the victim not as a partner, but as an object to be owned. Someone to be controlled, manipulated, and kept under constant surveillance. The obsession manifests in subtle ways at first. Small acts of jealousy or possessiveness seem harmless, even flattering. But slowly, these behaviors escalate. The manipulator becomes obsessed with the victim's whereabouts, their thoughts, and even their interactions with others. Every conversation is scrutinized, and every moment of independence is seen as a threat. The victim is made to feel guilty for having a life outside the relationship, gradually losing their sense of freedom and autonomy. This obsession becomes toxic, turning love into something suffocating. It goes beyond desire and into a realm of possessiveness and control, where the manipulator's need to dominate outweighs the victim's right to freedom. The once thrilling connection now becomes a constant fear, a fear of what will happen if the victim dares to push back or break free. The obsession grows stronger, and as it does, it threatens not only the relationship but the safety of everyone involved. The final choice. At the breaking point, the victim faces a choice: remain trapped in the toxic cycle or break free and reclaim their life. The manipulator, now fully aware of the grip they have on their victim, pushes harder. The victim feels cornered, caught between the suffocating bond of obsession and the overwhelming desire for freedom. It's a choice between destruction and escape, between the life they once knew and the uncertain path toward recovery. The manipulator's actions grow more extreme, with threats, intimidation, and emotional blackmail becoming the norm. The victim is made to feel that no one will understand, or that they have no place to turn. The love that was once intoxicating is now a weapon, used to hold them hostage. But somewhere deep within, the victim starts to find the strength to consider their options, to realize that survival means choosing themselves. This final choice is not just about ending a relationship, it's about reclaiming autonomy, self-respect, and safety. It's the ultimate battle between control and freedom, and it will shape the future of both the victim and the manipulator. In the end, the true question is, can the victim find the courage to break free, or will they remain trapped in the darkness forever? If you found this story gripping, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more jaw-dropping content like this. Have you ever wondered what happens when love crosses the line into something darker? Or how a manipulator can completely control someone's life? Share your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear what you think. And don't miss our next video. They met in prison and plotted the perfect escape. It's coming soon, and it's going to leave you on the edge of your seat.